What's something that makes a person instantly likable? When I waited tables, there was a husband and wife with their kid in a high chair. Dude whistled at me and said, "Hey, clean this shit up," at the mess his kid made. Whistling and snapping fingers were my pet peeves when I was waitering and bartending. Also, arguing about prices like it was negotiable or something. As a half Vietnamese, half Czech living since birth in Czech Republic, I am used to some of the casual racism here and there. The biggest trope about Vietnamese people in Czech Republic is that everyone works at a small grocery corner shop, Vysoká in Czech. So whenever I am in situation with new people and I can feel that usually some guy wants to impress some girls in the group by making fun of me with this casual racism, I try to beat him to the punch and talk about my imaginary corner shop. My race is not a quirk, but this actually works, and people soon learn that their bullshit ways do not work on me as I make fun of myself. Maybe it's a girl's thing, but when a guy makes fun of himself I just think, damn, that's depressing. Totally killed the vibe. Also, when the person constantly talks bad about themselves it becomes annoying. Just comes off as attention-seeking and self-centered. Now if the person has actual problems, insecurities, of course I'd support them. If the person however has a great body and keeps saying "I'm so fat," I'm just like, bro, I do not care. Oh, and people who put down others then brag about themselves are the worst. You have to find a happy medium, respect yourself and your mates. Also, making fun of yourself as a joke, which I think you were referring to, is alright, I guess. Oh man, this is me and my husband. We playfully give each other shit all day. Friends before dating, and known each other since 15, and have had a number of people think that we're passive-aggressively fighting with each other. We know we've found our people when something absurd can happen to someone in the group and everyone is like, well, that was dumb. I struggle with this. Growing up, making fun of each other is just what me and friends did. Now as an adult, I catch myself doing it with people who aren't my friends, so obviously they don't take it the same way. You expect to be ribbed back, and when you aren't it's like, shit, I shouldn't have said that. A good sense of humor can be dumb and joke about stupid things and isn't like, what are you talking about? Also, people who smile and compliment others often. Yeah, that sucks. For about 3 years in a row I've had classes with nobody I knew because all of my friends were in honor roll. Now I'm going into a new school year and at least one honor class, which, considering my circumstances over the past few years, is a major improvement. I used to be the same in school. Mostly people just treated me like I didn't exist, but sometimes someone would come and talk to me. I appreciated it, but I was in such a bad mental state at the time I was convinced they would just make fun of me. I wish I'd been more open to people's kindness. As a mini introvert, I usually sit alone on a bench during school lunch, with friends sometimes joining me. Occasionally, someone would come talk to me if I was alone, try to be friends. I hate it, but my respect for them grows immensely. I always find this one strange because you call yourself unlikable. You're the one talking about yourself. In every conversation there's one that talks more than the other for a wide variety of reasons. I don't think you should read into that too much. Car salesmen use this tactic often, especially with women and first-time buyers. Sucker you into a sense of security and then they take advantage. It's evidently effective enough because I've run into it fairly often. Personally, I find it inauthentic and kinda slimy. I like this book, but my god, people abuse the advice. For instance, people love hearing their names, right? However, my friend Help Town, you need to know how and when to use it, because, Help Town, the thing is ... it's often overused, abused, or just flat out annoying. And you know what else? Help Town, it's annoying, really annoying. You know, Help Town, Sometimes saying their name once or twice is enough, but for some people helpful radio town it's just not enough. That's the trait that made fall for my now husband. We were on a bike ride and it had started raining, so we were going fast. An old guy dropped his newspaper and then his cane when trying to pick it up. Now husband stopped, picked both up, put them in the man's hands and told him to have a nice day before getting back on his bike like nothing happened. Read that Jeff Goldblum enthusiastically responds, of course, whenever he is introduced to someone new, utterly charming, even if he doesn't know a single thing about the person. Nice, friendly way to put people at ease. Humility without self-deprecation, has my sense of humor, knows how to converse, actually responds but also doesn't interrupt, has empathy, speaks tactfully, and knows how to learn from their mistakes. I've been reading some responses and they're all too one-sided. Like according to the comments, a likable person has to listen to you, pay attention to you, like you, be always happy to see you, talk about things you like, not talk about themselves. Here you talk about yourself. You see the problem? I think a likable person also has to be able to understand their position in a relationship, conversation, and give others the chance to be the likable person too. I want a friend, not a servant or a therapist. Humility without self-deprecation, has my sense of humor, knows how to converse, actually responds but also doesn't interrupt, has empathy, speaks tactfully, and knows how to learn from their mistakes. Maybe I'm weird, but I'm looking at a lot of these answers and just seeing a bunch of stuff that I can't help but see as ingenuine or simply implanted social gestures. People are naturally self-interested, but it seems people like when others aren't as straightforward about it, and rather act subtly in the interest of having people like them. Or some of these people we see as likable have no clue that they are simply a product of parents telling them to do certain things without ever questioning it. But at that point, where's the thought and the gestures? Suffice it to say that amateurs who try to pick apart social interaction too much probably aren't terribly likable in the context of this positive post. Lol. Kindness, not suspicious of others but thinks the best of others, listens, respectful and tolerant toward those they disagree with, treating everybody equally, regardless of status, race, etc. Genuine, unique, general optimism and appreciation for life, compassionate, humble, doesn't think they are better than anyone else. I work with the sommelier, and the dude is interested in so many things that whoever you introduce to him, he finds a common point of interest very early, and from then on he becomes best friend with that new guy. If you're curious and try to find points of mutual appreciation rather than points of debate or conflict, it works wonders in society. They don't talk much. I love quiet people. I lived across the street from this guy for 2 years and literally we didn't say a word to each other the entire time. The day I moved, he walked over while I was struggling to load a dresser into the U-Haul and helped me put it in. Then he shook my hand and said it was nice having me as a neighbor. I said likewise, and those were the first and last words we ever spoke to each other. They like to exercise. They donate blood or platelets. They are nice to service industry and retail workers. Man, those are some sexy traits. Well, for one, I'm gay. 2, I'm a very social person and I love to talk and gossip, but I'm not snappy and rude. I'm kind and care about people's feelings, with a hint of sass, so I'm very liked upon by girls, and honestly I'm pretty sure that the guys just bully me cause they're jealous that I know all their crushes, and if they have a crush on them, lol, I hold all the power, unlimited power. If they are rude to wait staff, I've been on dates or outings with people that are pretty likable initially only to witness them blatantly insult waitstaff at restaurants. I've then apologized to the waitstaff and then told whoever I was with to shut the fuck up and that they're being rude. I'd end our outings very quickly after that. Fuck anyone who is rude to waitstaff. I've seen waitresses cry over people yelling at them, and I've also been the one that ended up crying over a customer being rude to me. This shows a lot about their character and I won't put up with it. I am extremely and instantly likable, at least to most people, but I don't necessarily know why. People say that they have never felt the type of energy and feeling that I give off, like they're just near me and they feel good. I also like to and do help people when they have a problem or something is happening to them and they don't know what to do, and I'm also a really playful person. I manage to entertain and make people smile and feel happy wherever I go, so that's what makes me and just anyone extremely and instantly likable. I will have to briefly hijack this thread to ask you nice people a question. 2 things about me that come to mind. 1. I see someone approaching a door and I'm near it. I hold it open for them. 2. I'm concerned about someone. I sometimes try to ask around and see if mutual friends or acquaintances know anything that I could use to make helping them out more feasible, if I'm not sure what to say otherwise. I have been told that I'm a good friend, but I don't see it, either because the things I do seem very mundane, self-esteem, or some combination of both. On a personal level, definitely effort. Easily. Every positive, admirable, genuinely pleasant interaction or relationship I've ever had with whomever, it was always a display of effort that can instantly make me like them as a person. It's inspiring more than anything, because it makes me want to be a better person for them and for others. Oh damn. The way their smile meets their eyes, like, that shit is crack to me. The crinkly crow's eyes, the half smile where they think should I laugh at this, the half snort that they immediately try and explain away. I just love people's laugh. Those with nerdy and fascinating hobbies, it is a joy to watch people explaining things they love animatedly. Also those who are experts at fun things, like studying whale song. Just watched Fathom Whale doc on Apple TV Plus, highly recommend for good vibes. Big tattoos, sleeves. Something about someone sitting still for 4+ hours with a tattoo being stabbed into their skin just makes them more interesting. I should know. I have 2 big pieces that I sat for 5 hours straight for. It takes a different type XD. I was told by someone once that seeing my tattoos put them at ease when I was training them for a new job. When they actually listen to you and what you're saying and don't talk over you. One of my ex-friends would constantly talk over me, so out of habit, I unconsciously start speaking louder when I'm in the middle of speaking. I'm in the process of trying to fix this. One thing that makes a person likable for me is when they can make me laugh within the first hour I have met them. It's weird laughing about something stupid with someone when you're not very close. It's a special feeling that would be in a well-deserved top 20 best feelings for me, oddly enough. When you say instantly likable, this somehow means a very positive first impression, which for me is the friendly and charismatic aura. Someone when you see for the first time, makes you gravitate towards him, her. This may sound superficial, but how you look and act around people greatly influence your likability meter, if ever that exists. The ability to listen and understand people. Everyone is going through shit. Even the most dumb people have issues, and people who, even though they know how stupid you are, listen to you and then calmly in a very gentle manner explain to you why and how you are wrong and why it's not really your fault, are a gift to humanity. Edit typo. If they're good with kids. I don't have kids of my own, but I work with kids, and seeing adults respect and generally show interest in what children have to say makes me automatically like people. I think our society dismisses children much too often, and to see others see them as what they are, which is tiny humans, it makes me joyous. I have found that if you are kind to people, then other kind people will gravitate towards you and try to interact with you, while unkind people randomly don't like kind people most of the time. I have been in situations where I just met 10 or so people for the first time, and most of the time people like, but sometimes people just have an irrational hatred of me before they have even heard me speak. Being kind is like a natural filter to show who else is kind. 1. Pov. You meet first time and they don't ask, so what do we want to do? 2. The person helps somebody, once told me. La 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 la, who doesn't really need it. 3. They ask a bit about you and talk a bit about themselves. Fuck, do you want this cupcake, Jeff? A stranger gave it to me after I helped get his cat down from a tree. Speaking of which, Jeff, do you like trees? Your favorite tree is a maple? Man, can I relate. Tell me more about your love of maple trees. Wow, Jeff, that's awesome. I haven't known you long, but I really like you, Jeff. Hey, I just remembered it's your cousin's birthday on Thursday. Let's build her a garden. And since we both like maple trees so much, Jeff, let's plant a maple tree together. Here comes the waiter. Let's tip him 25%. Jeff, can I tell you a joke about trees? I warn you, it's kind of depressing. It may pull down your mood. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Smiling intensifies. Did I do it, guys? I used to share an office with a woman who was universally liked by every single person in our office. What stood out to me, was that she made people feel valued and heard. You just felt good whenever you were around her, and she had a comforting presence because she was never judgmental and she remembered names and pertinent details about every person in our office without ever gossiping. Friendliness, excitement when talking for me seals the deal. That's all I need. I'm not the type of person who can start a conversation easily, but when someone seems excited to talk about something, it makes them really likable and fun to talk to. If they're friendly, energetic, that's something I really appreciate too. If I feel like they're really putting effort into the convo, I'll always put as much effort back. Likewise, if it's the opposite and it feels like someone is forcing themselves to talk to you, it makes a horrible impression. When I was younger, I went out with a group of my sister's friends. I didn't really know them very well, but they were cool and happy to have me along. In the pub, they were all laughing about some in-joke story. Then one of them turned to me, while the others carried on chatting, and explained the backstory of the joke to me. It was a small thing, but it was such a nice gesture to make sure I wasn't excluded. Humor in place of expected anger. Jump a curb in your car. Oh, that damn curb jumped out in front of me. Back into a brick wall? Guess that's where I was headed. Spill your milkshake. Should I start crying now? Be the cause of your parents' divorce? Hope they had a good prenup. When they use your first name throughout the conversation, they just find a way to fit it in there multiple times without overdoing the effect. When they briefly interrupt their current conversation to acknowledge your presence while speaking to another person or otherwise preoccupied, this can be a verbal or non-verbal, just an acknowledgement that you are not being ignored. A calm, happy demeanor, being able to laugh at themselves or self-deprecate or not get pissy when people toss jokes at their expense. Smiles and warm eyes. That type of person will always do well in social circles, because they cause no static, no drama. They are just always showing off an appearance of no stress, good vibes, happy-go-lucky, let's laugh and have fun. That is very attractive in friendships. No one likes that asshole who gets all pissy when jokes are lobbed their way, especially if they will roast other people but get bothered when they are the target. No one likes a depressed sourpuss. No one likes someone who is already bitching or getting mad over politics or always super stressed out and riding manic cycles. No one likes someone ruining the vibe and causing drama. Usually, you can sense it on people quickly too. When you meet people, you can tell who is sincerely very cool, and who is not. For whatever reason, the cool people will be more likable at first glance. Upon being introduced to you, They use your name. Bob, this is Joe. Joe, this is Bob. Nice to meet you. Tell me, Bob, how do you know our mutual friend here? Thanks, Joe. Nice to meet you too. We met in prison.